A little bit, and maybe that's a policy that we need to explain some more. So at the moment, the UN says to every country, every developed country, that as part of being part of the community of nations, you have a responsibility to take in some people from parts of the world where maybe there's been war and other sorts of crises. And New Zealand has always done that. But we've always had a very, very low quota. So we've had one of the lowest refugee intakes of any first world country in the whole world. Only about 750 people per year. And you compare that to our overall net immigration at the moment, which is about 70,000 people. So it's a very, very small component. Even if we double it to 1,500 people per year, which is Labour's policy, we will still be one of the lowest countries in the world. So for example, Australia takes about 20,000 refugees per year. So it's quite a small commitment New Zealand makes, but I think it's an important part of us being part of the community of nations. And in Mount Roskill, where I live, I know sometimes people have misconceptions about refugees, and they think it's just about bringing people over who are perhaps not going to get into jobs, perhaps will be involved in criminal behaviour, not fit into society. Actually, what we find in places like Mount Roskill, where we do have a number of refugees, that if we provide good support to them, they become extremely valuable members of society, and they are so grateful to be here that they often contribute a lot back to New Zealand. The thing about all of those attacks, and they are absolutely awful and we just have to condemn them totally, is that basically none of them were committed by refugees. And in fact, many of the refugees in the world today are people who are trying to flee that kind of violence and don't want any part of it. Whenever we take refugees into New Zealand, they are screened both by the United Nations and our immigration services to ensure that we don't bring people in who might be dangerous. We certainly wouldn't want any of that. But what we can say in New Zealand is that there are basically no incidents of refugees who have come into New Zealand who have committed those kinds of attacks or atrocities, and I have no reason to believe that there will be in the future either. I think the answer to that is yes, and pretty much every country in the world does help others in different ways. We all have aid programs. New Zealand and China, for example, are extensively involved in working in the Pacific to try and improve people's lives there. Yes, we can work on improving things domestically, but we can also provide assistance to our fellow human beings. And one of the things that I'm conscious of is that, I mentioned before that my ancestors came to New Zealand only about 160 years ago. And most Pākehās like me, that's the case. And generally speaking, the reason that we came here was to seek a better life for our families. And so I think there is some responsibility to allow other people from other parts of the world to do that. And of course we do that responsibly. We do it in a way that is manageable, but I think that is a reasonable thing for us to do. And as I say, when you look at the contributions that many of those people have made to New Zealand, often it is a very significant contribution. And so New Zealand can actually gain from it as well.